met Marcos Garza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Located on the north side of Fort Worth, the construction of Texas Motor Speedway began in the spring of 1995 and required the movement of more than 4 million cubic yards of earth before it was completed the following year. The oval originally featured unique dual-angle banking, and its first major race, an NASCAR Xfinity Series event in April of '97, was won by Mark Martin. Jeff Burton won the first NASCAR Cup Series race the following day in front of a sellout crowd of over 200,000. 2 months later, Kenny Irwin won the first NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series race at TMS. Track has been good to Dale Earnhardt Jr. He won his first ever Xfinity race there in 1998. 2 years later, won his first Cup Series race. Shortly after Earnhardt's Xfinity Series win, the oval was reconfigured, eliminating the 8-degree section of dual-angle banking. Regardless of the configuration, it's going to be an exciting one here tonight, and it's the LSR Cup Series, Lonestar 125, and it's next on HBR TV. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Texas Motor Speedway for tonight's Lonestar 125, Lonestar Racing Cup Series. 125 laps to be run here tonight, 78-degree air temperature, 56% humidity, partly cloudy skies, 2-mile-per-hour breeze. Track temperature nice and cool, 80 degrees. Going to see some quick times in qualifying, which is going to be rolling in here in just a few minutes as we finish up the practice session here. Let's go down trackside. See where everybody's stacking up. First on the timing tower, it's the one of Drew Blaze, 29.80 seconds. Brandon Domain second quick at 29.84. Blaney 29.85, the winner from last week at Watkins Glen. Then Will Hewitt, back from a lockout in Rochester, New York, running in P4, 29.88 his lap time. Chris Goins, 29.89. Really tight times here within the top five, even all the way down into the 10th spot. We're all under 30 seconds and all within 2/10. Got Matt Sisler in the stream chat already. Can't be here because he's working, understandably so. We watching along with you guys. Hope you're having a good one, Steve. Thanks, Matt. You too. It's Little Friday, getting ready for, well, Real Friday, which comes up here tomorrow. About a minute and a half remain here in the session. We'll get right into qualifying as soon as it's over. 2 laps, 5 minutes to set the field here tonight. Almost sound like the 33 of Will Hewitt was downshifting into corner entry there into turns 1 and 2. Again, they do have 5 gears in this next-gen Cup car. Texas tonight, then we go out west further to Auto Club Speedway. Certainly that'll be a fun one to watch. These next-gen Cup cars tend to put on a pretty decent show out 2 Mile Auto Club Speedway. Clock strikes 0 on the practice session. One and only session, a short one here. Lonestar Racing not running too long of a practice. Figure they got a whole week to prepare. No need to give them too much time. Mess it all up as we jump into the qualifying session here. John Byram going to be the first one to roll. The 054. Byram way up the racetrack, almost got into the wall, had to lift quite a bit. Luckily, this is just the outlap. Byram across the stripe here to complete his first lap. 30.531. Provisional pole for how long Kulikowski runs P2. Byram out of the throttle, exit at 2. Right with Jason Blaney here down the back stretch. He's on his out lap. Meanwhile, Drew Blaze goes P1, 30.39 seconds. Quickly, Will Hewitt goes top of the board, 30.33. Watch Jason Blaney here, crosses the stripe. Timing and scoring puts him nowhere just yet. Kulikowski, a 30.32 though on his second time by. The 22 goes top of the board. Drew Blaze takes it back, 29.97. We still watch Jason Blaney here. Not sure if that first lap was just the out lap. So he's on his first lap now. We'll see where the 24 locks in here in just a moment. There he is at the line. Blaney goes 35.3, his 7th fast so far. Meanwhile, Derek Welch goes P5. Welch a 30.324. Oh, Welch gets a piece of the wall. That may negate this lap. It does indeed. It takes that second lap time away as he did make contact with the safer barrier. Brandon Domain was quick in practice. The 30.249 his first lap. He may have abandoned lap 2. He has. Corey Deal, 36.25. 10th quick the first time, now 11th. Does he improve a bit? He does, quite a bit actually. P3, 30.057, almost getting down into the 29s with Drew Blaze. Justin Johnson leaving pit lane. Justin Johnson makes his home in Texas. Bit of a home race for the Roman numeral X, the number 10. Chris Goins locks himself P2 with a 30 flat. Looks like Johnson just got the left sides below the white line. It upset the handling of the car a bit. See what kind of lap time he throws down here at the line. 12th quick, 30.566. Will stay with Justin here for his second lap. Few drivers not taking a time just yet. Jonathan Arnn, Ken Blackburn, Jarrett Woodard with less than a minute to go. I would expect them not to and just opt to start from the rear. Johnson back into 3 and 4 here. Let's see if he's got a better corner this time. Wiggle, wiggle. A little loose in the middle of 3 and 4. Keeps his foot in it. P5, 30.19 for Justin Johnson. Big pickup on lap 2. Just like that, the session comes to a close. With that, we're going to take a very short 30-second timeout. We'll be back after this.
I met Marco Scarza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Back at Texas Motor Speedway for the Lonestar 125. Let's take a look at our starting grid on the pole position with a lap time of 29.970 seconds. It is the one of Drew Blaze. Outside front row, missed it by just 3/100ths of a second, Chris Goins. Row number 2, it's the 33 of Will Hewitt with Outcast Racing, and the number 9 of Corey Deal. Row number 3, Justin Johnson in the 10. He'll start 5th with Brandon Domain to his outside in the 6th position. Starting 7th, Chris Klein, the number 51. Nick Kolakowski is going to roll from the 8th position. 9th starter, Derek Welch in the 01. Dan Storm rolls off from P10 in the number 80. 11th goes to Jonathan Byram. 12th, Jason Blaney, our winner last week from Watkins Glen. 13th starter, the 05 of PJ Cox. Sean Roberts, the number 66. Shenandoah Shine Machine, he'll roll P14. 15th goes to Ken Couch. 16th, Tim Dimmermuth. Jarrett Woodard, 17th. Ken Blackburn, 18th. Shotgun on the field, the number 43 of Jonathan Arnn, starting 19th. Those drivers opting not to take a time in the qualifying session. It's your starting grid for the Lonestar 125 from Texas Motor Speedway. Field just about ready to roll here momentarily to get one pace lap before we go under the green flag. Field begins to roll, exiting pit lane. Again, one pace lap before we see the green flag. Lonestar Racing Cup Series season winding down. Just a handful of races remain here. Will get us into the early part of June and we'll wrap things up. Again, we've got Texas Motor Speedway here tonight. Next week we go to Auto Club Speedway. And after Auto Club, we've got the old style Atlanta Motor Speedway. Going to shred some tires out at Atlanta. And June 1st, Talladega. And there is an option, I think, for a June 8th race called the Drought Buster. We'll see if that one comes to fruition or not. Field working through 3 and 4, ready to go. Green flag racing here as the iRacing official pace car pulls off the speedway. Down pit lane, we wait for the green flag.
Green flag.
Lap 1 in the books. Drew Blaze out to a pretty good lead already. He's got just under half a second over the 33 of Will Hewitt. Meanwhile, Hewitt and Chris Goins battling. Goins a little loose mid-corner, has to chase it up the racetrack, chases it again, hard impact to the outside, safer barrier. We're under caution already. Chris Goins just losing the balance of that race car. Might have to tow, and he's still rolling, but right front damage for sure. Hard impact on the exit of turn 2. Lap number 2 already under the yellow flag here at Texas Motor Speedway. Let's go back and take a look at it. Oh. Really was a brutal hit. Just be glad we're in the sim and not real life. Watch it again here. Goins tries to save it. Bit of a tank slap, another tank slap, and then just overcorrects hard into the wall. Started outside front row. He's going to be at the back here having to use a fast repair. Chris Goins into the pit box. He does make it back under his own power. Again, the fast repair used. He's down and away. And it looks like he's going to stay on the lead lap here. He does. He exits pit lane. He's going to go be able to cycle back around. Big hit from the 28 of Chris Goins. So plenty of work to do now for the number 28 machine as he's going to restart this race from the 19th position. He was outside front row to start it. He's battling there with Will Hewitt for a brief moment. Hewitt now up into P2. Let's take one more look at it. I don't think there was any contact there, but there could have been. Back it up a little further here. Oh, Hewitt drove it way down the racetrack. Really dove it in. Goins was starting to turn in. I don't know if that's what initiated maybe a little bit of contact. Missed this. This was further down the racetrack. Looks like maybe the 22 clipped Goins on the way through. This looks like Chris Klein was just trying to save it. Comes down and collects the 22 of Kulikowski on the bottom. Well, let's give it another shot here. Lap 5 about to be 6. No, that's lap 5 on the board. Should be on the 1 to go here. Indeed, pace car lights are off, so next time by, lap 6, we'll get the green flag. Try this again. See Justin Johnson rolling up there into row 2, the outside of the 9 of Corey Deal. Justin finally having a night off, able to come down here and race effectively in this series that he kind of runs, him and Drew Blaze. Justin's been busy with family and sports, that sort of thing. Can't say that I blame him. His pace car pulls off. Let's try it again. Green flag in the air. We're back racing at Texas Motor Speedway. Drew Blaze with a big jump coming to the stripe. Justin Johnson real loose out of 2, almost pulled to Chris Goins, but he saves it. Significantly reduced pace at the bottom of the racetrack now. Chris Goins to his outside, slides up the racetrack a bit. Side by side now for position. Goins made up a few spots already. Next-gen Cup cars can be a bit of a handful on the initial laps until the tire pressures come up. Back out front, Drew Blaze with the race lead. Will Hewitt in second, 0.4 of a second behind. Then it's Corey Deal, Brandon Domain. Then 5th place, Jonathan Byram. Justin Johnson trying to work his way back through the field. He's got plenty of pace, just got a little out of shape out of 2 on the restart. Back up in the 11th position. Knocking on the door of the 86 of Tim Dummermuth. He's got Kulikowski, the 22 car, up top. Kind of boxed in right now. He's got to make some room to get by. Dummermuth pulls up in front of the 22 and may open the door for Justin Johnson. Close quarters down into turn 3. Problem is for Justin right now is the 22 and the 86 are fighting for position as well. They keep exchanging it back and forth. Justin seems to have a little bit more pace than those two, but just can't make that pass. Justin drives it way to the bottom, throws it down into the corner, turns 1 and 2. I think he's got the pass complete. He does. Next on the docket's going to be the 86 of Tim Dummermuth. This is for 9th and 10th. Tim Dummermuth runs P9. Justin Johnson, again, he was up in that second row on the restart. Car got out of shape out of 2, and on that restart was able to reel it back in, save the car. Now he's making the pass here for P9, trying to work his way back up through the field. Dummermuth going to try and repass here. He's got him set up for turn 3, looking to the inside. Justin carries it deeper into the corner. More throttle, more speed. Drives away out of turn 4, puts 4 or 5 car lengths on the 86. Justin Johnson, P9, trying to work his way back up and reel in the 05 of PJ Cox. PJ's got about 1.9 seconds a cushion between himself and the 10. Follow up on that battle later on. Meanwhile, Nick Kulikowski, all sorts of battles for himself. And Sean Roberts, Dan Storm, the teammate of Kulikowski, in this mix as well. Ken Couch, Chris Klein in behind. Sean Roberts leads this little trio. Jarrett Woodard a little bit further back, about 5-6 car lengths behind these 4 or 5 cars. Klein drives it in deep. It's underneath Ken Couch. Tucks in behind Dan Storm. Storm changing lanes. Thought he was going to stay up at top side there in front of Ken Couch. Drops it back below Chris Klein. Kind of going top, bottom, bottom, top. Klein's got some pace as well, though. He's driving that car right down to the bottom of the racetrack. He's got the inside on Ken Couch. Almost have to dive bomb the corner just to get clear. Might be able to make that work here early on in the race as far as tire temperatures, tire wear, grip levels. And do that and expect it to stick. Later on, that thing might push a little bit, slide up the racetrack. You do run the risk of driving into the guy you're trying to pass. But Ken Couch doing a good job right now trying to stay in front of Chris Klein. Klein has to settle in behind the 08. Meanwhile, the 80th Storm catches the outside wall. That's going to slow his momentum considerably. Drives it through the grass. Ken Couch now looking to the outside. Couch makes the pass. Moves Dan Storm back to 15th. Chris Klein running some new colors on that 51 car tonight, the Martin Sports entry. On board from Ken Couch, trying to get to Nick Polakowski here for the 13th position. Big run on a 4, had to lift just a bit. Does grab 4th gear there. You heard him downshift. Couch completing the pass. A move 08 machine up into 13th. Sean Roberts, meanwhile, he's gotten away from that group. Remember, they were all grouped up together there for a little while, but Sean has set sail here in the number 66 Ford Mustang. Justin Johnson maintains the 9th position over the 86 of Tim Dummermuth. Saw the 43 is Jonathan Arnn in this mix. He is running 19th, 2 laps down. Jonathan involved in an incident on lap 13. Let's try and get a look and see what happened. Not sure I understand the purpose of that one. Wasn't at a really high rate of speed or anything to that effect. He just kind of loses it and drives it down into pit lane. Might have been an issue leading up to it. Hard to say. Justin Johnson now running in the 8th position. Trying to catch who has dropped back in that mix. So I think Justin was running in the 9th spot previously. He was ahead of the 86 of Tim Dummermuth. No positions have changed hands there, but Justin is starting to reel in the 05 of PJ Cox. About half a second the advantage for the 05 as Justin continues to march forward. Drew Blaze now out to a 1.5 second advantage over second place Will Hewitt. Meanwhile, Brandon Domain battling now with Will Hewitt for that second spot. Domain clears him out of turn number 2, crosses in front of the 33, down into turn 3. Domain running the number 60 Ghost Energy machine. Looks like that's the Sour Patch Kids. I like my Sour Patch Kids. I like my energy drinks. I don't like them mixed. Seem to be gaining some popularity, though. Jason Blaney and Corey Deal battling it out for position. Blaney goes on by, move Blaney up into fourth. Closest battle on the racetrack right now, it is Jason Blaney and Corey Deal. 29 laps in. Of course, we did have a caution at lap 2. Slowed us just one time thus far. Pit stop wise, I don't think anybody took the opportunity for any kind of tires at all. Chris Goins was in the pits for his fast repair, maybe a splash of fuel. Chris Klein came down as well. Jonathan Arndt pit last at lap 21. We saw that in the replay. You have 3 sets of tires available to them over the wall tonight and 70% max fuel. Not quite sure when we expect to see these drivers down pit lane. Brandon Domain, who made relatively short work of Will Hewitt. Domain's about 3, maybe 4 car lengths off the nose of the 33, but Jason Blaney is closing in on Will Hewitt as well. Will's going to have his hands full here in just a couple of laps, I believe. Blaney closing fast. Last lap for Jason Blaney, a 30.85 to Will Hewitt's 31.02. Yes, we're talking tenths of seconds here, but it does make a difference lap after lap. You don't need to be a lot faster than the guy ahead of you, just enough. But with that, we're 32 laps in here from Texas Motor Speedway. Things are going right along here, waiting for our first round of green flag pit stops. We're going to jump out, get an HBR TV side-by-side break out of the way. Stay with us. You won't miss a moment of the action. We'll be right back.
I met Marcos Garza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Back at Texas Motor Speedway for the Lone Star Racing Cup Series, Lone Star 125. Drew Blaze has led this race from the pole position since the drop of the green flag. Second place now, Brandon Domain. Third is the 24, Jason Blaney, and Will Hewitt runs fourth. Corey Deal runs fifth. Blaney got to Will Hewitt, made short work for that pass, but it seemed that Will was starting to battle back, but no, now he's coming to pit lane. This looks like this could be our first taker on green flag pit stops. Will Hewitt down into the pits, going to try the undercut here. First one to hit pit lane with the leaders. Could be a little bit premature. We really don't know. Again, I'm not super familiar with these next-gen Cup cars and the tire life, the tire model that they do have. We do hear a lot of guys say that the tires do tend to last a lot better than previous iterations of the Cup car. Will still opting to come down here in pit stall number 3, change 4 tires, drop the jack, and he's down and away. So we'll see how he cycles through. Meanwhile, PJ Cox is going to opt to do the same. He's down pit lane as well. Sean Roberts also hitting the pits. So just in time, we're back from break as green flag pit stops are underway. About lap 40-42, again, we did have a caution flag in the beginning of this race. Lap number 2 certainly extended that first round of green flag stops to where we are now. Chris Goins down in the pit lane. Remember, Goins started outside front row tonight. It was the cause of our first caution of the night. Lap 2, turn 2. So he's racing without the safety net at this point. Burned that fast repair early. Plenty of time left in this race, though. It's not over yet for the 28. Meanwhile, out front, Drew Blaze, his lead has shrunk slightly now. It's 0.8 of a second back to the 60 of Domain. Curious if we'll see the one Lone Star Racing Mustang come down pit lane here momentarily. Stays out one more time. Best lap of the day for Blaze at 29.93. That's quick as it is. Last time by, though, at 31.58. So you're looking almost a second and 3/4 fall off each lap. Will Hewitt's been on the racetrack with his fresh tires a handful of laps now. He's trying to come to pit lane now. Drew Blaze, that is. Peels off the banking. Brandon Domain's going to go to P1 here with Blaze in the pits. He's going to get a lap led. All right, so Blaze locks it down into the pit box, that number 1 stall. He earned that with the pole position here tonight. Right side tires have been changed. Crew goes around to the left. 4 tires in Sunoco Racing fuel. Drew Blaze down and away. 14.97 seconds the pit stop. Meanwhile, Derek Welch, your new race leader. Brandon Domain, Ken Couch hitting the pits this time. And it might be close. They might need another caution here, but I think they can make one more stop after this. They should be able to make it to the end. Derek Welch now coming down the pit lane, make his first green flag stop of the night. Ken Couch leaving the pit box here, 16.72 seconds for Couch. Dan Storm remains in the pits at 22, 23, 24, 25 seconds and counting. See him just behind Derek Welch. Welch left side tires about to go on, drops the jack. Welch is down and away, 16.5 seconds for Welch. Not a great pit stop. Teammate Chris Klein also in the pits. Oh, Klein misses the box, has to back it up. So it cost him some time. Meanwhile, like we had mentioned early, with Will Hewitt kind of undercutting the field, hitting pit lane before anybody else, able to bolt on 4 fresh Goodyear Racing Eagles and get back out there, turn some fast laps. We talked about the fall off as far as the lap time was concerned with the older tire. It was almost 2 seconds, about 1 3/4 of a second per lap you're losing on the old tires. So Will Hewitt came down pit lane, bolted on the fresh ones. Now he's cycled back up to the race lead. Now, with all that said, of course, he's running lap times 30:27. His last time by Drew Blaze with 6 lap fresher tires running about 2.5 tenths faster at a 30:02. Be a matter of time before Blaze reels in Will Hewitt. But for now, 33's got the track position based on the pit strategy. Pretty similar lap times the last time by, though. Hewitt still a tick slower than Drew Blaze. Drew starting to chip into that race lead. Again, no rush. We're only at lap 54, still about 9 laps shy of halfway. Blaze back 3.1 seconds, then it's Blaney almost 5, then Brandon Domain 6.1, Corey Deal 6.5. 14 cars still on the lead lap. Nick Kulikowski, the 22, the first car 1 lap down. As of right now, the 054 of Byram and the 43 of Arn seemingly out of this race. Trying to catch some other battles on the racetrack, but through the green flag pit cycle, we've got everyone pretty well strewn across this racetrack. This is the 4th position of Brandon Domain, then Corey Deal in behind, a bit of a distance between these two. Chris Goins runs in P6. A few seconds ahead of the 05 of PJ Cox. See Derek Welch, he's a ways behind as well, 15 car lengths at least between those two drivers. Sean Roberts, kind of the same deal, 20 car lengths plus. Justin Johnson still out there running in P10. No real challengers for him to speak of. Further back, Chris Klein just getting out of turn 2 as Johnson just gets into 3. Tim Dummermuth, almost the same distance, 3/4 of the back straightaway, the distance between Klein and Dummermuth. Ken Couch running in 13th, 15 to 20 car lengths away from Dummermuth. And then again, the last car on the lead lap, Jarrett Woodard, 14th. Will Hewitt still out in command of this race. Just a 2-second advantage over Drew Blaze. That number is shrinking corner by corner. Drew Blaze reeling in the 33. Again, last lap for Will Hewitt was a 30.52 to Drew Blaze 30.19. About a handful of laps here, and I think we're going to have a battle for the lead. I don't know how much of a battle it's going to be with the newer tires that are underneath the one of Drew Blaze. .8 seconds at the stripe. Jason Blaney reeling in Drew Blaze slightly as well. 1.3 seconds between Blaze and Blaney. Blaze was quicker the last lap, but it was about a half-tenth faster. That's all it was. See where it stacks out this time by. Blaze runs a 30.37. Blaney runs a 30.34, so I would say they're about equal there that last time by. Hewitt into some lap traffic. Jarrett Woodard, the number 79, going down a lap. So now Ken Couch, the last one of the lead lap cars. Woodard now in the lucky dog position. Lap 63 goes up on the board, so we are now halfway here from Texas Motor Speedway, the Lonestar 125. Deficit from first to second now under 1 second. 0.8, that is, maybe even less, shrinking quite a bit. I don't know if Hewitt had a problem there between turns 1 and 2. Lost a ton of ground. Drew Blaze within striking distance now, 0.6 of a second back as they put lap 65 up on the board. Hewitt still leads, but again, Drew Blaze closing in, and the caution is out. Sean Roberts may be involved in this one. Yes, indeed. So now here's the question. Oh, Sean's still trying to get it going here. Got to watch for traffic, Sean. Watch that relative. Our second caution under the day here. That's actually going to help Will Hewitt. Been under the green flag here for about 25 laps. They may opt to pit. Let's see what happened here with Sean Roberts. Oh, just gets the wall and then tank slaps it into the grass, slides through, almost had it saved. Then he drives it into the wall again. Meanwhile, kind of as we expected here, the leaders are coming down pit lane here. Top 10 for sure. Will Hewitt in the box. Drew Blaze in the box. Chris Gones, Corey Deal, both in the box. Justin Johnson overshoots the box, has to go back just a bit. Will Hewitt down and away, lights him up John Force style. Does not beat Drew Blaze out, though. Good stop, 14.70 seconds, but not good enough to Drew Blaze. A 14:48 pit stop. Lightning quick. Pit crew got the job done there and got the one back out in front. So with that, we're going to jump out and take a quick break. We'll be back after this. Stay with us.
I met Marco Scarza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Back at Texas Motor Speedway on the one to go. In fact, pace car just about to peel off the racetrack here. Go back to the green flag. Lap 70 will go up on the board. 36 to go. Way more than 36. My math is horrible. 56. Never mind that. We're back racing. Drew Blaze with a good jump down into turn one. Jason Blaney tried to time it, gets to the back bumper of Drew Blaze at that initial start, gives him a bit of a bump. Blaney jumps up into that second spot, but the battle's between him and the 33 of Will Hewitt. Chris Gones has worked his way back up into the top five as well. Remember, he started outside front row. Lap 2 got into big trouble Tank slapped the car, overcorrected it, head first into the outside wall. Burns the faster pair, still in this one though. Again, back into the top 5 here. Took him about 70 laps, but here he is back in contention. Good run on a turn 2 for Will Hewitt. Takes a peek to the inside on Jason Blaney down into turn number 3. Blaney tries to turn it down the racetrack. Not enough room. Blaney stays up, slows the momentum of Will Hewitt. Off at turn 4, Blaney still with the spot. Hewitt taking another look down into turn 3, slides up the racetrack a bit. They get close, but they don't touch. The nose out in front off of turn 4. Blaney's going to have the run. All this battling, Chris Goins just sitting there watching, waiting for a mistake. And you can really hear how long out of the throttle Chris Goins is, especially through turns 1 and 2 there. I'd say almost 3/4 of that corner, those 2 corners effectively, he was out of the gas. Didn't pick it up till very late and still was able to close ground on Blaney and Will Hewitt. Meanwhile, Drew Blaze out to a 4/10 of a second advantage over the rest of these drivers. Continue to battle for these positions. Hewitt gets a piece of the wall out of turn 2, keeps his foot in it. Now Brandon Domain taking a peek to the inside on Chris Goins. This is for the 4th position. Domain takes the spot from Chris Goins, moves himself up into 4th. Top 3 are getting closer together here. Looks like Blaney and Hewitt decided to settle their differences and kind of run single file here and try to reel in Drew Blaze. They have certainly done it. Blaney is there, less than a car length off the back bumper of that Ford Mustang out of turn number 2. It's just under 2/10 of a second, the advantage for Drew Blaze. Right on board with Blaze as he looks back at Jason Blaney. Certainly a downshift there from Drew Blaze. Certainly not cooling off here at the front of the field. The top 3, it's Drew Blaze, Jason Blaney, Will Hewitt. Blaney all over the back bumper of Drew Blaze. Again, down the back straightaway once again. Blaze trying to change things up. He's grabbing 4th gear on corner entry, maybe to help that car rotate a little bit. Last pit stop's coming at about lap 66, so already the laps ticking down. Blaney just trying to find a solution here. Cannot get around Drew Blaze, and in fact, Drew now starting to stretch it out again. It's a car length and a half, maybe two, back to the 24. Will Hewitt, a car length off the back of Blaney. Five cars are starting to stretch their way out above the rest of the field here. Corey Deal runs back in sixth position, but you see the distance between himself and Chris Goins. It's about a second and a half back to the 9. Drew Blaze across the stripe here, leading another lap. My eyes could be playing tricks on me, but either the 24 and the 33 are backing up to Brandon Domain, or they're starting to catch these two. Gonna have a four-way battle here for these positions, but meanwhile, Drew Blaze is continuing to stretch out that advantage. Drew has come on pretty strong here as of late. Here we go once again. Brandon Domain has caught Will Hewitt for the third spot. We'll see how quickly the 60 can dispose of Hewitt. Got the job done pretty quickly the last time as he goes to the bottom side one more time. Hewitt way up the racetrack out of 2. Going to carry some momentum down the back straightaway. Will is going to carry a bit of a draft there and give that to Chris Goins. Tucks back down in front of Domain. Brandon had mentioned, I think it was last week, he's more of a road racer than anything else. He's just kind of dipping his toes into this oval thing. At least that's what I remember. Could be completely wrong here, but that's where I'm going. Domain up into the third spot now. Let's see if he can reel in Blaney at all. Chris Goins goes around Will Hewitt. Hewitt sliding backwards. Now I would expect it once again here, this final stop of the day. If Hewitt can time it just right, and we do run green to the finish, Hewitt can try that undercut one more time. Remember, he was able to get out to about a 3.5 second advantage over the rest of the field once everybody cycled back through. The drawback was it put him about 6 laps a deficit as far as tire life is concerned. Blaney real loose out of turn 4, wiggles a bit in front of Domain. Brandon's going to look to the inside here, might take the second spot into turn number 1. Looks like he's got it. Well, Blaney's going to battle back. Goins is going to try and follow the 60 through like a lead blocker, but no. Domain up the racetrack, just barely enough room to clear Blaney, move him up into the second spot again. Blaney tucks in behind. Chris Goins is going to try and do something with this here, but nowhere to go. Possibly handling issues starting to creep in for the driver, the number 24. Gotta mention it too, guys. It's been kind of quiet here in the stream chat tonight. We had Matt Sisler right before the race got started. Nobody else since. All I hear is the crickets. free to chime in. Tell us where you're watching from, who you're cheering for, and also, while you're here, please hit that like button on the stream. It's free to do that, just like the broadcast is free. Go ahead and smash the like button. It absolutely helps the broadcast, helps the channel, helps the league. It's good things all around. So Domain starting to run away from Chris Goins here. Meanwhile, Blaney's on pit lane. He's trying the undercut. And we might have missed it. Looks like Will Hewitt has just completed his pit stop. He came down at lap 89. Blaney just leaving pit road now. So again, Hewitt, first one to come down. Jarrett Woodard next. And Woodard not a lead lap car, I don't believe, as he comes down into pit lane. Blaze stays on the racetrack. They can all make it from here, guys. I mean, we can go... I think some of them went as many as 40-plus laps. So this very well could be the final stops of the day once they get them completed. Of course, a caution would come out. They still have tires to use if necessary. Or do they? I want to double check. I think it was 3 sets. Yeah, 3 sets over the wall. So I'd be willing to bet that some of these drivers, though they've tried the undercut here, that's one way of doing it. They weren't making it on pace alone, so they tried the undercut, see what kind of track position they can gain through this cycle. But guys that aren't doing that strategy, maybe they stay out a little bit longer, utilize the tire life late in the race, kind of really give them a chance to push throughout that run because they don't have another set over the wall. Caution does come out. There's no advantage to duck down pit lane and take that set of tires that you've been saving. I don't think anybody out there has an extra set right now. Drivers that have not made their green flag stop thus far: Drew Blaze, Brandon Domain, Corey Deal, Derek Welch, Justin Johnson, PJ Cox, Tim Dummermuth, Nick Kolakowski. Again, he's not a lead lap driver at this point. Chris Klein, though, comes into the pits. Race leader Drew Blaze stays out. Battle for position here. Justin Johnson taking the spot from Ken Couch. PJ Cox just in behind. Will Hewitt behind this group, though he's not on the lead lap after the pit stop. That should change when everybody cycles through, but it could be something Drew Blaze might be waiting for as well. Maybe a caution to come out and trap the 33 lap down. Then he's not his problem anymore, though he is in the lucky dog position, so he would need Blaney to go on by. Blaney with only 1 lap fresher tires than Will Hewitt. He's a full 3 seconds behind. See how quickly Hewitt disposes of these cars, though, as he continues his march back up towards the front, working his way up through the 6th position. Meanwhile, Brandon Domain pits from the top 5. Domain cleanly into the pit box, again, right side tires. Four tires and fuel for Domain. Drops the jack 15.08. Meanwhile, leader Drew Blaze, Chris Goins, Justin Johnson, all in the pits. Final stop of the day. I would expect Will Hewitt will likely cycle back to the lead here, but again, with the laps that we have remaining, Drew Blaze is going to be on a tear with much fresher tires. Remember, Will Hewitt came down to lap 89. Last time it was a 6-lap differential between the 1 and the 33, and Drew was able to reel him in awfully quick. This time it's about a 10-lap difference as Drew Blaze exits pit lane here. 26 laps remaining. Big deal in the pits. Derek Welch cycling back to the race lead once again. Welch stays on the racetrack. You see Will Hewitt closing in. Right now, the top three, the only drivers on the lead lap. Now it's the top four as Will Hewitt takes his lap back the old-fashioned way, but you see how close and how quickly Will Hewitt has closed, or not Will Hewitt, Drew Blaze has closed the gap into Will Hewitt. That is for position now, the top five back on the lead lap. Drew Blaze right there. "24 laps to go here from Texas Motor Speedway. We're going to take our final side-by-side break right now. We'll be back after this. Stay with us. You won't miss a thing."
I met Marco Scarza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Back at Texas Motor Speedway, 17 laps to go. Derek Welch still the race leader with a 20.5 second lead over Drew Blaze. Mind you, Welch has not made his final pit stop of the night. The situation he's in, he does still have a set of tires available over the wall, but the question is, how long can he go on fuel? Is he out there just trying to hope for a caution? If that does happen, we've only got 7 cars on the lead lap. He's the only driver there with a set of tires over the wall. If we get a yellow before this one's over, within maybe 5 to go, Welch is in a pretty good situation here. However, if we don't get a yellow, he's certainly going to lose a lap on the pit stop. So he's got all his chips are down, man. He's really trying to gamble here for a race win. He's got pretty decent pace, but given that these tires are worn, he's about a 1.5 seconds slower than the rest of the field right now. Again, with 16 to go, if it goes green all the way to the end, that's one thing. They still might catch him, but I don't think he's got enough Tiger in the tank to make it. His only hope here is a good caution to come out. He'll still have to come down and pit for fuel and tires, but he would have the freshest tires on the track when he does. Well, back in second place, Drew Blaze still in command of that position. Would likely inherit the lead here if Welch has to hit pit lane. He's got 2.7 seconds on third place, Will Hewitt. $14 laps to go. The delta from lap time to lap time shrinking as well. It's now 1.4 seconds down to 1.3 seconds, the lap time differential between Welch and Blaze. If he stays, I don't think he can make it all the way to the end. 70% max fuel. He pitted lap 66, so he's looking at 59 laps under the green flag. I don't know if he can make it work. Bravo, but I don't see it happening. He's either going to shed a lot of pace to save a lot of fuel, which is going to inherit that lead back to Drew Blaze, or he's going to have to pit. Again, I think the caution flag would need to come out for this strategy to pay off for the 0-1. Be in the catbird seat if it did. Only had a couple all night long, though. It's been a pretty clean race tonight. Only 8 cars on the lead lap currently, though. Again, if that caution comes out, Welch can come pit. He'd restart there in about the 4th or 5th row with a fresh set of tires. Not going to make it. Derek Welch coming down pit lane here to make his final stop of the day. Not enough fuel to make it to the end. Has to come down, coming to 10 laps to go. It's going to give the lead to Drew Blaze. He's got a ways out of turn 4. Drew Blaze takes the lead over with 10 laps to go. Will Hewitt jumps to P2, still 5.5 seconds back. Corey Deal in P3 now. Chris Gones, Brandon Domain in the top 5. Jason Blaney running in P6. Blaney, your winner from last week at Watkins Glen. Corey Deal has gone by Will Hewitt for the second spot with 8 laps to go, coming to 7 to go. Or is it 8 laps to go? Yeah, Blaze is that far enough ahead. 8 laps remain here from Texas Motor Speedway. Now it's Drew Blaze, Corey Deal, Will Hewitt, Chris Gones, Brandon Domain. Chris Goins and Domain going to battle it out here for the 4th position with just a handful of laps remaining. Domain looks to the inside into 3, just a nose alongside, has to lift. Back to the throttle again, see what kind of exit the 60 gets. Still there. Side by side down into turn number 1. Brandon Domain on the bottom, Chris Goins on the top. Domain takes the position away, moves himself up into 4th. Just 5 laps to go here at Texas Motor Speedway. Drew Blaze in command once again. Started this race from pole position. Pit cycles have only been the time where he's been not leading this race. Once they get to the end of it, though, he always goes back to the point. He's got the pit strategy down. He's got the pace down. And in about 4 more laps, he might have a victory burnout down. Blaze with now a 6-second advantage over second place Corey Deal. This late in the run, drivers are downshifting again, grabbing 4th gear in the corners. Trying to get some of that drive out, trying to get some of that turn in. Got Kevin Blue in the stream chat saying what's up. I miss you, Kevin. Sorry you couldn't be here tonight. Tim Darmuth making a pass on Chris Goins, not for position. Tim, the first car, 1 lap down as we get 2 laps to go here in just a moment. Lap and a half to go for Drew Blaze. Wants to get back to the stripe here before that white flag comes out. Doesn't want to have to deal with a yellow. No green-white checkers for the 1. On to turn number 4. White flag in the air. Final lap. Lonestar 125. In its 124th lap, Drew Blaze down into turns 1 and 2 with a healthy advantage. No pressure out the back. 7 seconds the lead over the 9 of Corey Deal. Been a pretty clean race for most of the drivers here tonight. Only a couple of cautions, 1 right away and then 1 after the pit cycle, which we kind of expected to happen, but been clear sailing all night long for the 1 of Drew Blaze. Out of turn 4, checkered flag in the air. Drew Blaze wins the Lonestar 125 from Texas Motor Speedway. Corey Deal comes home 2nd, Will Hewitt 3rd, Brandon Domain, Chris Goins rounding out the top 5, then Jason Blaney, Chris Klein, PJ Cox, Justin Johnson in 9th, Ken Couch, solid top 10. Derek Welch comes back, finishes 11th after a shot at this thing late. The cards didn't fall the way that he needed them to. Drew Blaze burning it down here on the front stretch. We're going to jump out, get our final break out of the way. We'll be back with our top 3 finishers after this. Stay with us.
I met Marco Scarza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Back at Texas Motor Speedway for the Lonestar 125 races in the books. Drew Blaze with the checkered flag. Let's get a word with our race winner as we pull him up into the broadcast booth. Drew, it's Steve in the HBR TV broadcast booth. You with us?
Yes, sir.
Drew, congratulations, man. A dominating performance here tonight at Texas. I got to ask, is this one of your favorite tracks? Because you were really outstanding there tonight, putting on a clinic in front of these guys.
I wouldn't say it's one of my favorite tracks, but I'd say I'm pretty dang good here, and at most of the mile-and-a-half tracks overall, it seemed to be really good. So
it's fun to watch the race here tonight. I know we had some battles kind of all over the place. It was more about the strategies. We saw Will Hewitt trying to work the undercut a couple of times. It worked as far as the initial cycle of pit stops. You got him out front, led some laps, but quickly you were able to reel him in. Walk us through the strategy, the thought process, and what your decision-making was like when you saw the 33 come down early both times.
yeah, one of my teammates pointed out that Will was going in, and then they told me Jason was going in as well, and I was like, I'm gonna trust the process here. I'm gonna wait it out, and I waited till around 99 to 100, and I went in and I took two. I didn't know how it was gonna work out. I didn't practice it at all here, but it felt like brand new tires, possibly even better. So I'm shocked, but not complaining at all.
All the times that we look at the pit stop times here in this league, it's the one time I didn't even notice it, a 9.8 second pit stop. So yeah, right side tires only. And looking at it, Corey Deal did the same. He was an 11.02 second stop for his last stop of the race. Will Hewitt took 4, finished P3. So it was the right strategy call. I was wondering how you got up on Will so fast through that cycle. So job well done.
Yes, thank you. Me and Corey were discussing it on that run there, and honestly, I just bit the bullet. I didn't know if it was just going to make me super loose and I was going to wreck, but I was just taking that chance, and it ended up making the car pretty much perfect, it felt like.
Well, it certainly paid off for you, so congratulations there. Good call there late to bring home the win along with the pole position here tonight. Next week, we go out west, further west, I guess you could say, to Auto Club Speedway. I expect to see a race kind of somewhat similar to Michigan. How do you feel about Auto Club next week?
I love Auto Club, and that is one of my favorite tracks, and I am usually really good there. So we'll see if we can carry the momentum over to Auto Club next week.
Blaze shooting for 2 in a row next week. We'll have to wait and see what happens. Drew, congratulations again on the win here tonight. Who do you want to shout out to before we let you go?
Yeah, I'd like to thank Lonestar Racing, Garza Law Firm, Mike Fahey, Justin Johnson, just all my teammates, everybody who supports me, and all the viewers out there. Appreciate you watching and sticking with us. And as always, Steve, thank you for putting on fantastic broadcast. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Drew, man. Good luck next week.
Thank you.
It's Drew Blaze, your race winner here at Texas Motor Speedway. Next, we're going to go to Corey Deal, our runner-up, bringing it home with the HBR TV colors. Pull Corey up into the booth here and get a word with our runner-up. Corey, it's Steve in the HBR TV booth. You got a copy?
Oh, wow. It's been a while since I heard this voice.
It's been a while since I've heard yours, man. Congratulations on a second-place finish here tonight. Looks like you and Drew Blaze were the ones with the strategy call there late, taking 2 tires. Walk us through the decision in doing that on your final stop.
Yeah, I just went super hard save in the last run, and I started talking to him. He's like, I'm going to pit around 99 to 100. And I said, okay. I was like, what do you think about doing 2 tires? He's like, well, I haven't done it. And he's like, I'm going to do it. And I was like, okay, I'm going to do it too. And it ended up, like he said, it ended up paying off. I mean, driving that car around my fastest lap with just 2 tires, and I mean, it felt amazing. Like, I wish I would have known that. I would have, alternated back and forth throughout the whole race, because, dude, it felt great running those 2 tires. Like, Will went early, and then Jason went like right behind him, and I'm like, Drew, these guys are going early. What do you think? And he's like, I'm sticking to the plan. So I was just like, all right. And then, like, so we made that gutsy call to go 2 tires, and it honestly worked out. I just was able to run down everybody and just pass them. But, man, it's been a while since I've been up here, so I'm a little nervous.
It's amazing how reliant the cars are on the right side tires. There was almost a full 2 seconds of fall off as far as lap times were concerned throughout the course of the run. But opting for just right sides only, you seem to have a little bit better handling race car, and it certainly was, like you said, your fastest lap of the race was on the 2 tire change.
Yeah, like it felt so good. Like, you could honestly, if there was other grooves, I feel like you could have pinned it in other spots. It did start getting a little loose at the very end because I was burning it trying to catch Will. Then I realized, I'm not going to catch Drew, so I might as well just slow down and just save it, because I think at the end of that run I started putting a little bit of pressure. I'm like, okay, I need to close the gap. If Drew's going to pit around here, I need to close the gap if I'm going to take 2 tires and try to at least be close enough to him to put pressure and to fight lap traffic and everything. But I think he went 1 lap before me, and I think that little gap right there of me trying to race, I think it was Brandon and Chris trying to race them, and I ended up passing them, getting 1 lap led. And I think that little bit right there is what cost me a 5-second gap, and he was able to just keep it and honestly cruise, because he was out there by himself, and I'm over here trying to run everybody down. But like I said, it was a fantastic race.
Certainly a solid run for you, Corey. Congratulations. We're certainly proud of you here in the HBR TV booth, carrying the colors into a top 3 finish. Next week, we go to Auto Club Speedway. I got to wonder if the 2-tire strategy could be successful out there. A bigger racetrack, certainly higher speeds. What are your thoughts on that next week?
I think it could be possible. I mean, it's flatter. It's a flat track, but it's big, like, and wide. I feel like it could be a late race call for sure, and maybe even a mid race, call to get out kind of early, and just to see how much the fall off is, or But I feel like it could come into a factor for sure. These cars just, I don't know, they just handle so much different when you take 2 tires. Sometimes it's loose, sometimes it's good. You're just taking that call or that gutsy call and just risking it. And I like Auto Club. I don't like Texas. I hated this track, and I'm happy to be with a P2. But I hate this track. I love Old Texas, but I hate New Texas so bad. I just turn 1. I want to punch it every time I go into it.
Well, Corey, either way, nice job, man. Congratulations on P2. We wish you the best of luck next week at Auto Club. Who do you want to thank before we let you go?
I want to thank Lonestar Racing for jumping on board and allowing me to join their team this season. They're a really good group of guys that are obviously really fast. thanks for you to being on the car and doing the broadcast. I'm glad to represent. I've been struggling a little bit, but hopefully the closing of the season, I can bring it back and bring it all together. And then thanks to everybody watching for sure. And also thanks to my beautiful wife, that allows me to do this stuff and actually supports me and roots me on. She told me congratulations for finishing P2. So, hey, I'll take it. And just thanks to, like I said, again, thanks to the fans. I'm glad, if we do this all for the fans, we do this all for fun, but, I'm just glad we could put on a show for sure.
All right, Corey. Well, thanks for talking to us again. Certainly good luck next week, man.
Yes, sir. So glad to hear your voice.
It's Corey Deal, your runner-up here at Texas Motor Speedway. Pull Will Hewitt, our third-place finisher, up into the broadcast booth and get a word with the 33. He was fast tonight, just didn't quite have enough to get it up there and win this thing, but a top 3 finish, I'm sure he'll take it. Didn't lock his phone in the room or anything like that tonight, so far so good. Will Hewitt, it's Steve in the booth. You got us?
How's it going, man?
It's going good. A nice run tonight. You had the strategy with the undercuts a couple of times. Got that thing out in the wind in the lead. Led some laps, but last stops of the race, the top 2 finishers taking 2 tires, kind of negating that undercut, man. Walk us through your race. Was there anything you could have planned differently or thought differently? And what's your strategy for next week at Auto Club?
Well, I wish I gave 2 tires a chance, man. I thought I'd have like a 4-second advantage over them on that last run to hopefully hold them off, but when I saw him pretty much even with me coming out of his pit stop, it was I knew mistakes were made.
Well, it is what it is. You still brought it home with a solid top 3, so it's no shame in that. You led some laps. You looked good out there. Plenty of air time for the 33. Are you going to be around next week for Auto Club?
Yeah, I'm going to win it.
There you go. Good thoughts. Very confident in his abilities at Auto Club Speedway next week. What gives you that confidence, Will?
The draft and it's just the banking here in 1 and 2. It just doesn't suit me. I can't stand it. It gets really tight into the run, and usually when there's tracks that these cars get loose at over the course of the run, I usually like those better.
Well, we certainly look forward to it, Will. Again, congratulations on 3rd place here. Who do you want to shout out to before we let you go?
I just want to shout out to the league and the broadcast for putting this on every week.
All right, well, again, good luck next week, man. Thanks for talking to us.
Thanks, man.
It's Will Hewitt, your 3rd place finisher here at Texas. Certainly looking forward to next week out at Auto Club Speedway. Will's going to be fast. I've seen him run there before. He was quick at Michigan. Expect a little bit more of the same out of him next week at Auto Club. So that should be a fun one to watch. Again, tire strategy still could come into play as well, as we heard that with Corey Deal. Maybe 2 tires late in the run, get some track position. We'll have to see how it pans out. But in the meantime, let's take a look at our race results. Of course, we talked to our top 3. Drew Blaze, Corey Deal, Will Hewitt. 4th place finisher, Brandon Domain. Chris Goins, a solid top 5. Jason Blaney finishes P6. Chris Klein, 7th. PJ Cox was 8th. Justin Johnson finishes 9th. Ken Couch, 10th. Derek Welch, 11th, after having to pit with 11 laps to go from the race lead. Still on the lead lap. Tough break for Derek Welch. Just needed that caution to come out. He could get that pit stop done, not lose a lap, and then be out there with some fresh rubber. Just didn't pan out. Tim Demmermuth was 12th. Jarrett Woodard, 13th. Nick Kolakowski was 14th. 15th place finisher, that goes to Ken Blackburn. Dan Storm was 16th. Sean Roberts was 17th. Jonathan Byram, Jonathan Arnn, 18th and 19th, respectively. The last 2 cars in the field, 104 and then 107 laps down. Make sure you guys join us next week, though, at Auto Club Speedway as this season continues to wind down. Good battles to watch throughout. Certainly looking forward to the battle between, well, maybe Drew Blaze, Corey Deal, Will Hewitt. Maybe Blaze can go 2 in a row. Maybe Will Hewitt can steal a win. We'll have to wait and see. So tune in for it next week here on HBR TV. Of course, that's next Thursday. We go live at about 7:45 Eastern. I know we got a lot of Central Time Zone guys watching, so just do the math. Google it if you have to. 7:45 in the East here at HBR TV. We can watch it all live unfold from qualifying to the checkered flag. Thank you guys for tuning into the stream and watching tonight. Not a whole lot of chatters. That's okay. We'll figure that out maybe next week. But if you haven't already done so, please like, follow, share, subscribe. Most importantly, like. And check us out at hbrtv1.com. We've got post-race photos, some information. No schedules yet, but we do have the ability to watch the live stream there as well. So just click that live tab and it'll take you right to the YouTube channel. It's all for us here at Texas Motor Speedway. Congratulations to Drew Blaze on winning tonight's Lone Star 125. We'll see you guys all next week.